Specialty ISU Junior Grand Prix! This is an event of the International Skating Union and hosted by the Figure Skating Association of Thailand. In just a few moments, we will begin the Junior Ice Dance. Before that, we would like to remind you that flash photography, as well as video recording and filming, is forbidden. Gifts and flowers offered to the skaters at the end of their performance must be completely wrapped, and we thank you very much for your cooperation. Before we begin, may we all please rise for the King's Anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce the officials for this event. Representing the International Skating Union, please welcome the referee of the event, Miss Jezebel Tamura. Judge number 1, Miss Hillary Quick from Canada. Judge number 2, Mr. Shou Kamiyama from Japan. Judge number 3, Miss Natalie Taylor from Australia. Judge number 4, Mr. Miroslav Vizarek from Czechia. Judge number 5, Miss Michaela Zero from Italy. Judge number 6, Miss Hane Kagawa from the United States of America. And Judge number 7, Miss So Young An from Korea. Our technical panel, representing the International Skating Union, our technical controller, Mr. Sean Redstadt. Our technical specialist, Mr. Thomas Kika. And Miss Joanna Bunai-Footman.
Something everyone. Welcome to day 3, the final day of competition here in Bangkok, Thailand, on week 3 of the ISU Junior Grand Prix. I'm Ted Barton. Mark Hanratty will be joining us live from his studio in Nottingham. Now, we start the day with the free dance. And yesterday, the leaders, Naomi Maria Tali and Noah Lafonera from Italy, shocked even themselves with a 68.80, 8 points better than their win in the previous Junior Grand Prix. In second place, a bit of surprise here, Hannah Maria Aboen and Danielle Vaslukan from the United States with a 64.31. And then in third place, Eliana and Ethan Peel with a 60.25. Now, 3 of the top 4 teams were in the top 10 of the Junior World Championships last season, and they're going to be fighting like crazy to get to the podium and reach the Junior Grand Prix final. Day number 3 starts with the free dance, which begins right now.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bangkok, the final day of competition here in week number 3 of 7 weeks as we take a look at the arena, the shopping center and the arena here and the transit train through much of Bangkok. It's a busy streets, that's for sure. Mark Hanratty joining us from Nottingham. Mark, our final day, and what can you expect here in the free dance?
Well, looking forward to potentially seeing, as we see the judges for the event, whether or not we'll have the first team securely through to the Junior Grand Prix final, which will take place in Grenoble in France in December, with Noemi Maria Tali and Noah Lafonera already have 15 points from their win in their first event, and now if they can win again here, they will be guaranteed entry to the final, and it's really exciting as we step towards the next stage of the season.
Yeah, and you have to think they're in a good spot for that. I think they have a 4 or 5 point lead. Let's just take a look at this. They've got, 4-point lead, 4.5 point lead actually, and which is pretty good in dance. So, failing any major mistakes, they stand a good chance to qualify right here, right now, for the Junior Grand Prix final in Grenoble.
And with Noemi and Noah, I noticed that they've made the time to go to visit some areas in Bangkok, and that's something that I see a lot of the skaters doing, maybe more so than perhaps some of the other Junior Grand Prix locations, insofar as it seems to be such a uniquely different location for a Junior Grand Prix. And I love to see that the skaters getting the chance to embrace some of the life experience, not just the event.
Well, it is completely a different culture and part of the world, and who would go to this part of the world with skating unless skating was being developed? And it is being developed here. It's not only here, but it's in Singapore and Malaysia and all over the place, and it's so fantastic. And they're early on in their development stages, of course, so the level won't be as high at this point, but they're pretty dedicated. You can see there's a center of excellence, an ISU center of excellence here in Bangkok, and some of the other rinks are being built in Malaysia that are full-size arenas. So we've talked a lot about the small little arenas with posts in the middle of it, but more and more full-size arenas are being built around the world as well. So when that happens, and then sort of watch out. And the interesting thing is, Mark, is skaters are learning by watching a lot of stuff on YouTube and by remote, by Zoom as well. So they're finding a way to learn how to skate, even though they don't have the same resources as many other top countries.
Yeah, and it's very definitely obvious that we've got participation in the singles event from the Thai skaters. The skaters in Thailand, not necessarily, well, I don't know whether or not there are ice dance coaches here, but we have got a team from the host nation in this ice dance event. But it's an interesting debate as to what you can learn from YouTube, and we can see perhaps some more tangible things to learn from YouTube. We can see if somebody's doing 3 rotations in there and it's a triple or 2 or 4. I remember when I was an ice dancer, you could see the twizzle, and you can copy the features or whatnot, but there's nothing quite like seeing the speed and flow on site as you see in an ice dance competition. Maybe it's the case that being in a competition for an ice dancer has just as much, if not more, motivation than for a single skater.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think the one problem with YouTube is the fact that you are watch it for entertainment. You don't watch it to learn. And if you break it down to say where exactly are their arms, how do their arms and free leg work on that takeoff together? Let me break this down and think of it that way. That's an asset. But when they get caught up in, oh, I really like that program. Well, yeah, but that's watching for entertainment, right? So, yeah, all different.
And even within this group now, as we're watching the teams in this group, obviously, or maybe not obviously for those of you that are new to the sport, the draw for the second part of the competition is based on the results of the rhythm dance, and consequently we have the less experienced teams now in this opening group who aren't as strong. But if we look at them out of context, they look great. Look at the speed, look at the flow, look at the extension. But then we'll see as we look towards the later stages, just that real refinement, which is perhaps a little harder to notice for the untrained eye.
Would you say, for a new viewer, that ice dance is a little bit more difficult to differentiate the qualities of the teams that are at the top versus the top, the first group? So, you know, you can see that in jumping because guys go really slow and they don't get all the way around or whatever. But in ice dance, even the first group, they can look good, they skate well, and so a lot of detail.
Yeah, and I think even for me myself, I remember when I would be competing and it was respectable and looked okay, it was like such fine detail that separates, you know, what I was doing as somebody that's coming 20-something at Worlds to the ones above, and they just have so much more. Even here, this is a brilliant example of the Australian team working their knee action, so that's obviously something that they have been taught to do, just to pulse their knee action. The angle and depth of that knee action we'll see from the later teams will be just deeper.
How did you rate yourself? What did you say? Average? No, you. How did you say that?
Yeah, like I was okay. I was alright.
Yeah. Well, as they'll see in the basics of skating, you have great extensions. This is for sure. Okay. Yeah. Here we go, Mark. The free dance, the final day of competition here in Bangkok.
And opening the free dance section of the competition, Renee, Yuen, and Oliver Ma taking a full circle of progressive runs, their forwards crossers to create speed as they make their way to their start position.
Strange what they say will make foolish people
Renee, Yuen and Oliver from Australia, just 14 and 15 years of age, complete the free dance to open this third day of competition in Bangkok. And great to see this team pushing themselves for a complete departure from the free dance that they had last year. A little bit more intense, a little bit darker. And showcasing, I think, some strong improvement from last season. And hopefully the fact that they're 15th doesn't make them too despondent season upon season at this event.
Yeah, and the pacing of the music was a little bit slower, but that's perfect for where this team is at. But, you know, do your elements as well as you can and not have to chase the music. And so I think that was a smart choice.
Yeah, and they opened with that dance spin, which is coming at a solid level 4. Here, looking at the step sequence and the quality of the turns, there's a difficult entry into the curve lift, difficult position for Oliver, difficult position for Renee, and choosing to do a combination lift. So we can see teams in the junior competition take 2 shorter lifts or 1 combo. That's so cool. Incredibly difficult to do. And that will come in as a choreographic lift for the team. The teams have choice of 2 different choreographic elements, as we see there, synchronized twizzles.
It was interesting, the audience is so appreciative of things. They don't know much about skating, but the pull through the legs, they clapped and roared at that one. Whoa, look at that, that was awesome. So it's kind of nice to have an audience that's appreciative of even sometimes the simplest things.
So it's always the case is that you have an audience that doesn't know anything and they applaud like crazy for a backspin, but applaud politely for a triple jump.
Yeah, exactly.
So Monica McDonald joins the team in the kiss and cry. And they look, Oliver looks, he looks happy. He looks happy to be embracing the moment here.
Yeah, it looks better today, and you know, achieving the goals of what they wanted to accomplish in the free dance. And every time out, it's sort of like, especially when you're in the first couple groups, so what is my goal? You know, what do I want to achieve here? And how am I going to leave this ice feeling happy? And it's always got to do with personal. When you get down to the later groups, it's both that, but also, well, what number would that be beside my name if I do well? So you've got 2 things going on there. But in this stage of the competition, it's all about personal achievements.
And the team's tech score really quite strong insofar as they've got level 4 twizzles for Oliver. They've got a level 4 dance spin, as I mentioned. The curve lift, first part of the curve lift coming in as a 4. So there's an awareness of those elements for what's necessary for that maximum level. What's always more difficult in the dance competition is to attain the higher levels for the step sequence or the 1-foot turns. It's a level 1 for both skaters on both of those elements, and that's the next sort of layer of their development will be to get that deeper, clearer edge set.
55 is their personal best, and they beat that here with a 56.20. So they are the first team out, and they've got to say some accomplishment has been made here by just upping that personal best score. This is the first competition out, so they don't have it. This is now their season's best, but before it was last year.
Representing Kazakhstan, Shelaeva and Solovyev.
And now to Shelaeva and Ivan Solovyev. Let's get the best time in mucho. A really difficult closing seconds of the program for Eva Shelaeva and Ivan Solovyev representing Kazakhstan. I think the team has improved significantly. I remember last year they already had a mindfulness of the extension and the use of their blade, and I really appreciated some of what they brought. This year they look to be much more mindful and aware of what's necessary from a technical element score perspective, but just so unfortunate that they're in the closing stages of the program. They had that fall by 2, so it's a mandatory 2-point deduction at the end of the program, and that's going to mar their perspective of their event here. As we see the twizzles, much better for Eva than in the rhythm dance. They're their Group C feature, the third twizzle. Rotational lift. A difficult exit with the Inabauer to finish. And a dance spin, they're looking to have 4 different features from 3 different groups. And a brilliantly callable straight line lift. And that 1-foot exit gets them an extra level. And this will be what separates so many of the skaters, the mandatory 1-foot turns element.
And why does that separate? Because you can really clearly see the skating skills on the edges?
Absolutely, and the ability for the skater, first of all, to get the level call, who's able to hit really, really deep quality. Oh, that was so unfortunate at the end of the program. Deep quality, clean turns, so they'll have a rocker, a bracket, a counter, and a twizzle, which they'll have to include in that 1-foot turns. Most teams just getting the twizzle called, as we see understandably upset Eva.
Yeah, I always feel so bad for ice dancers and or pair skaters when one makes a mistake because they carry the burden emotionally on themselves, but it's not, it's a team, because they're going to make mistakes, one or the other, at some point in their career. But you could see she was really upset with that. I don't know if it was her cause or not, but yeah. It's hard to go through and hard to watch. 59.85 for the France, and that's first, with a total competition score of 97.53, and that'll put Eva and Eva currently into first place.
This puts them currently in first place.
The team did 2 Junior Grand Prix last year. Hopefully we'll see them again. As we look ahead now to Madelaine and Breau and Namu Lee, this new partnership. And as I mentioned in the rhythm dance, their coaching staff acknowledging what a great pairing they have made already. Great relationship. And hopefully this will be a celebration of a lot of hard work over a short period of time.
Stress
Madelaine and Breau and Namu representing Korea share a big embrace at the end of this Junior Grand Prix debut as a team. Namu experienced as a two-time World Junior Championship competitor and now forming this new partnership. And you can just see there the reaction and the relationship between them, high-fiving as they leave the ice. That is the ideal for any coach to see that camaraderie between the team, and hopefully they can carry that through the season.
Yeah, Madelaine has not had a lot of experience in ice dance and doing such a great job in such a short period of time.
And here, the bracket turn, you could just see ever such a slight deviation on the curve, so not as clear and consistent on the edges as some of the skaters we'll see later, but great change of pose. And you can see some little flashes of loveliness from Madelaine. I'm sure she's going to make a fantastic dancer. I'm sure also for her this experience will be incredible. Namu's obviously had an insight into this world of international ice dance. For Madelaine, you can almost see in the way that she's performing now, inspired by being here.
Yeah, she's kind of getting the feel for it, and as I said, has really, if we didn't tell the audience that, they wouldn't know that she's only been doing this for a very short period of time.
Yeah, completely agree. And you just get a sense when you're watching her of somebody that's enjoying the chance to perform on the stage. Some people will be daunted by it and, you know, be introverted. Here, she looks like a woman at this closing stage of the free dance that's embracing it. Interesting yet again that the coach Aaron Lowe, who's with them, has back-to-back participation for his skaters. He's going to be unable to join the team in the kiss and cry because he's busy with his next charges.
Madelaine, I believe, comes from a small club, inlet skating club. Oh, there's Aaron. I think it's the inlet skating club, and I'm sure that many of those skaters are watching and cheering her on, and maybe thinking, maybe I can do that.
Yeah, let's hope.
Well, 70.23, that is first for Madelaine and Namu. They look pretty happy with that score. And total competition score 115.53. And that will put them currently into first place. Madelaine's already figured this one out. No, sit down. Come on, sit down. She's got experience. Yeah, exactly. Good girl. Nicely done.
She's like, yeah, exactly. Well done. She led them.
Representing Chinese Taipei, Tasha and Kazuteru Becker.
And that's the team representing Chinese Taipei, Tasha Senhui and Kazuteru Miki Becker in their Junior Grand Prix debut.
One stone's away to get back homeward. One stone's away to get back home. Sleeping, darling, do not cry, and I will sing a lullaby.
Tasha, Shin, Hui, Lai, and Kazuteru, Miki, Becker, Pass complete the free dance. And I love the Beatles. I was initially saying I was surprised they picked this choice when the rhythm dance this year is from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And yet the compilation, the medley, was just a perfect backdrop for a free dance. Lots of changes in pace and energy. And I particularly appreciated the musicality towards the later stages of the program.
And I think the pace of, pardon me, the pace of the program, again, just fits where they're at in their development. Not too fast, doesn't make them rush, gives them enough time.
And this, I love that, the upside down in a difficult pose. Actually, they use a change of pose as the feature within a straight line lift. And you'll see the men often lifting to land the woman on one foot to up the level. This, I think, was the circular step sequence. This was the only bit when the music had changed to the female vocal and the music was so passionate and intense. And I thought, oh, it's a shame that they're not quite as engaged with the changes of the music there. But then, as soon as I'd said that, every other element seemed to be really engaged, and the character step was particularly well acknowledging of the music. As we look at the twizzles, both coming in at level 4. And here's the choreo character step. And you can see without hearing the music, you can almost imagine what is being said, the energy of it based on the way in which the team are moving. And they're pointing to the feet as the vocals acknowledge feet. Rotational lift, difficult position for Tasha in the split. And then a difficult exit. And a team that was, I gather, 2023 pre-novice Canadian champions, and then novice bronze medalists in 2024 Canadians, and now happily represented Chinese Taipei and getting the opportunity to compete at Junior Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, they certainly had some success in Canada early on in pre-novice and novice, and there's a big log jam in Canada with ice dancers, so I think they chose they could do that. They had the relationship, and they moved to Taipei. So, you know, people do different journeys, if you will, depending on what their timing is in their own life, right?
And how great for them now to be here on the Junior Grand Prix, perhaps earlier than they might have otherwise been.
Yeah. Well, 70.79, that's first in the free dance with a 114.66, and that'll put Tasha and Mickey Curtin into first place.
114.66. This puts them currently in first place. Next to skate, representing Hong Kong, China, Kang and Chau.
And now to the team who are the first ice dance team to represent Hong Kong on the International Skating Union Junior Grand Prix. And they will skate Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey.
Not even a
Kang and Chau representing Hong Kong complete their free dance. Some little bubbles within it, but the fact that they are here representing Hong Kong, such a brilliant opportunity, not just for them, but also as a statement for ice dance within their nation. And definitely the team seems to be fully embracing the ice dance style. It doesn't seem to be two single skaters that have immediately paired together to enter into different discipline. They seem to be embracing the entire convention of ice dance.
That takes a little while to sort of, when you are two individual skaters coming together, it takes a while to skate like one.
Yeah, and also to have the relevant sass, but that was so very vivid from Kang at the start of the program. As we look at their combination lift, so this could be up to 13 seconds in length. Here, choreographic slide element, and it's a shame, just that slight touchdown. Now, 2 choreographic elements for the juniors, 1.1 points for all the teams for that, but that's boosted or detracted by the grade of execution, and unfortunately that little touchdown has prevented that from being the positive GOE for Kang and Chau. But here, where I feel that they're totally at home in the ice dance discipline, given the level of interpretation that they showcased at the end of the program.
This will be it, personal and season's best. Anita, over 69 points, take the lead.
They did do the Hong Kong Nationals late in May, Ted, and they had a huge score of 87 points, but sometimes domestic events can have a little elevated scoring, so it's not necessarily the best reference point. This would be a more reflective reflection of where they're at, and that they can move forward from this.
I like that, reflective reflection. Yeah, it's a little sort of sobering in a way, because the international standard is high. So, yeah.
And yet some nations can be the reverse. You can find some skating nations which can be much stricter and harder on their respective teams in a domestic event.
They do, because they feel that if the skaters can skate up to a high level, making sure that maybe they're a little harder on some of the calls, so that they have to work harder to get it guaranteed, as opposed to, I think that's going to do it. Well, not I think. You need to know for sure. No, you got the level 4 in that, or whatever.
And it's interesting when you look at national championships and the scores that are posted for various teams, you can almost tell the cultural input like of the judges, because some nations go way over with their national championships almost as a shout out statement to the rest of the world, and then there are some that I think, oh my goodness, how are you sending your teams out? Making them feel like they're less than. It's different cultures.
The score
Okay, the scores are 67.39 for Ren and Handron. That is currently third place for the free.
Their total score is
Total competition score 112.97, and that'll put them also overall into third place, at least for the moment. Pretty close, 114, 113, 112. Top three so far.
The following skaters may now take the ice.
Okay, now we have, as we are getting the warm-up, as we see the standings so far, the warm-up for group number 2, it is our great pleasure to introduce our guest commentator for this final two groups, Kathy Reed, Olympian, world competitor, also a coach, a very good coach. We saw one of our teams over there, just absolutely outstanding. So we welcome Kathy Reed into the broadcast. Kathy, you are broadcasting from Tokyo?
From Kyoto, Japan. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here to see all these young, talented teams.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. We will play some of your skating on the ice resurfacing, so we get to see Kathy skating during the ice resurfacing time, and I'm sure that Mr. Detective Mark Hanratty will have a bunch of questions for you. So Mark, I'm gonna step aside and let Mark start to grill you. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, maybe Kathy's safer from my grilling insofar as Kathy and I, very, very briefly, I don't know if Kathy remembers, but very, very briefly, we trained together in the States at one point when I was in the States, and then,
Yes, we did.
We competed around the same time, so I don't have to grill Kathy as much because I'm a bit more aware of her.
We go way back.
Her life history. Yeah. But it's great to have you here, Kathy, and so glad that you can run us through this Junior Grand Prix, because obviously now you have totally immersed yourself in coaching, and I think if those that are listening aren't aware, I think what you're doing for Japanese ice dance is so amazing, and trying to raise popularity and support in a discipline in a skating nation that's so strong, but ice dance not as popularized, and you're doing a brilliant job of doing that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a challenge. It hasn't been easy, but I've had a lot of support, from fans all over the world, and from other coaches within Japan, and also the academy that I'm working at, and also grateful for having the talented skaters who are open to try ice dance, open to try pairs as well. So that's very helpful.
So Kathy, the question is, as you were skating position to coaching, what was I'm not sure how to put this, the difficulties, the frustrations, or what did you discover between coaching, for coaching, once you switched from being a skater to coach?
Basically how to explain things that I've taken for granted. Things that I found simple or easy to do or without thought, I had to actually think about and be able to explain in different ways, because skaters understand in different ways. Some understand more visually, some understand more with words, with expressions, with examples. So that thought process really took me for a whirl. I had to come up with different ways of explaining what I was trying to teach.
It's hard work.
It's hard work, but it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. I love what I do.
Okay, Mark, over to you.
No, that's so fortunate. Well, it's interesting because when we're on the JGP, we have to acknowledge the fact that then there are teams that come from very different environments. And so as we look at the French team now, they come from Villard-de-Lans, where there are a host of other junior ice dance teams that are all experiencing the same thing. And then with that in mind, I think success breeds success. It's not easier necessarily for the coaches, but it's very different for the coaches, say, from the Ice Academy in Montreal, where there are an absolute abundance of brilliant teams, so the skaters are exposed to that. For you, yes, Japan's, you could argue in a singles discipline, the coaches just say, go and look at Malshamada, you can go demonstrate. For you, you've had to inspire the skaters without that visual demonstration abundant in the ring. And so therefore, what are your tactics? Do you use video and YouTube a lot when you're coaching, or are you skating yourself? Because obviously you're so good in your own right.
Oh, you're being nice. At least I'm trying to stay in shape and skate with my students, but I definitely find that's important. They not only need to visually see what they're trying to achieve, but also be able to feel. And so skating with the skaters is super important. But I also use a lot of tools, iPads, YouTube, videos of past, current skaters, teams. So I use whatever I can because, yeah, as you said, I'm not in an environment where there are a lot of ice dance coaches and dance instructors readily available. All the tools that I can.
Is there anything that you would like that you don't have?
Definitely a male coach would be helpful.
Double up.
Want to come over?
Yeah, I would love to have a little geographical challenging, but
here we go, Mark. Let's take us through this group, second group of 3 in the free dance.
Representing Canada.
so opening this group, Rachel, Martins, and Juel, Kowalczyk, and their free dance choreography, a collaboration between their coach, Mencl Islam, and Caitlin Weaver, and something that both coaches and choreographers are very passionate about, and hopefully that'll be evident for the skaters too as Rachel and Juel take to the ice. Rachel Martins and Juel Kowalczyk, and I knew obviously that the collaboration between Caitlin and Mitchell would have been great, but for me I thought, oh, tango's difficult for a team who are fresh out of novice, and yet I thought that was just brilliant and so many wonderful nuances to the music. I'm sure you enjoyed it too, Kathy.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's a bold choice. It's a mature piece of music, but it suits them super well. They seemed, you know, super, you know, into it, into the emotions. They built with intensity as the music built with intensity. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And I think we acknowledge that it's a bold choice insofar as the tango requires such a varied degree of different emotions when you're interpreting it, and that's sometimes harder to do when you're so youthful, but here you can see in the opening already inhabiting character so well.
Yeah, they were super intense, like really into the music, the musicality, the positioning, the tango feel. Great choreography and great interpretation. Little slip
Just
out of the
wondering
twizzle
whether or
there. Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps that's the reason that level 3 is coming for Rachel on the opening twizzles.
Great position, the straight line lift.
Is it nice camel
Dance
position
spin.
there? Yeah.
It was a pretty difficult program. Lots of difficult, intricate movements.
Yeah, it really did have
They executed pretty well.
like senior level maturity to it. Even the likes of that little toe step, which was so perfectly pitched, the music is nothing, but it's something when it's done appropriately as it was. Even those little gonchos and the little flicks of the free leg, perfectly on point.
Great upside down position, the rotational lift. Really brought the intensity at the end of the program.
And I gather their coach, Mitchell Islam, was recently named as ice dance director at Mariposa, so that's great. He's pushing forward ice dance in a nation that's already so strong in the ice dance community.
Free dance score 80.95 for Rachel Juel, and that is first in the free dance with the total competition score of 127.09. They look pretty happy with that. Mission accomplished, first time out this season. And there it is, you know, a good 13-point lead. So that shows you clearly the difference in the qualities of this team, as you guys so well said.
Next to skate, representing Czechia, Eliska, Zakova, and Renee.
And now to the team that competed last week in Ostrava, Eliska, Zakova, and Filip Mencl. They have not had training time from event to event, but hopefully lots of lessons learned and gained from their participation last week in their first Junior Grand Prix of the season. Eliska, Zakova and Filip Mencl share a hug, and so much is behind that hug because they've had a difficult past few days. Last week in Ostrava, they had 3 of the 8 elements in their free dance with negative rate of execution because mistakes were made. But here, much, much better. But yet again, Eliska's drawn blood for her craft. As you can see, her left knee, the victim of the slides within the free dance.
Yeah, it was a much better skate from last week, so I'm glad they could finish the Junior Grand Prix circuit on a higher note and with smiles on their faces. It's always a good sign, even though the knees can be bloodied up at times from those choreo slides. Yeah, but it comes, comes with a price of it.
Occupational hazard.
Yeah, that's exactly. But it was a fun program, you can't go wrong with James Bond, I think. Very cool entry into the curve lift. Nice one leg exit, eagle exit. Smoothly done. 1 foot section. Nice and controlled. Good unison too. And the twizzles, I was like, yay, when I saw them. Glad they could get through this.
And it's interesting, Kathy, isn't it, when you think if it's event on event, and they will have had to travel, it's such a big travel to get from Ostrava to here, as we see the rotational lift, and this, they didn't manage to attain the change of pose last week, so that's vastly improved. But how hard it is for the skaters when they've not got time to train, how hard it is for the job of the coach to try to motivate the skaters, and I know that Michael Cheska will have done a brilliant job, but it's a challenge, right, to get them to be back buoyed up, ready to compete again.
For sure, you go from one competition mode to the next, so it's like there's no time for like a reset. You just have to keep going.
No.
But they did a fantastic job.
Kathy, I want to ask you, because we've talked about the strategy of doing 2 back-to-back, and because there might be a better learning curve. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, and what would you do? Would it be different for different stages of development?
I have never experienced a back-to-back competition myself as a skater, so I really don't know exactly how it feels. But I think, any experience is a good experience, whether it's back-to-back or not. You have to be ready no matter what. So it's a mindset that you have to train for.
Okay. Now, you wondered why they picked that. I mean, it could be to do with other things they have in their life, like school and whatnot. Let's do these 2. But we saw some really big improvement made from Riga to Ostrava, back-to-back competitions, not just in dance and other disciplines. So that didn't have to travel very far. They get right back on the ice, made some improvements, and get back to the feeling of competition early in the season. So we thought, oh, that was kind of cool. But this is different going from Ostrava to Bangkok.
Yeah, it's a bigger travel schedule, and sometimes there's no time. You just have to, from one competition to the next, switch your mind, get ready, and it's all in your mind. And I think they did a fantastic job.
Yeah, their personal best is 77.61. Their season's best is 63.44. They're going to beat that score by quite a bit. We'll see how close they get to their personal best, 77, but no question this was a better performance than last week. We'll see what that score is right now for the free dance. It's 72.53, so it is the season's best. That is second in the free dance with a competition score of 119.96, and that'll put Eliska and Filip currently into second place.
Next to skate, representing Great Britain, Molly Hensing and Alessio.
And now to the British team of Molly Hersign and Alessio Serenkov-Gochev. And they will be skating to a medley of Billie Eilish tracks. Molly Hairsign and Alessio Gulchev showcasing such a departure between the rhythm dance and the free dance, and I think this a stronger performance for the team. It was interesting, just before the rhythm dance, Molly was really sick and really unwell, and you'll know about that, Ted, based on how you felt whilst you've been there. So I think much more settled for the free dance performance here.
No, it was a fantastic performance, great choice of music. I mean, I love Billie Eilish, and they seem to really enjoy the program, enjoy the choreography, enjoy the change of mood throughout the program. It was a really good piece of choreography. Great job, Mark.
I was going to say, you just say that because I'm here, but yeah, certainly I helped the team. I've known the skaters for a while, such good humans, and they've we worked in the choreography, they work in Sheffield, but they also then train with Matteo Zani's team in Europe, and it's been developed and embellished and supported, and you can see actually what I'm really aware of for this team as we see the difficult entry into the curve lift as the depth of the edge within the 1 foot turns and in the diagonal step sequence, and that's something that Theo and his team do so well. They're helping the skaters to facilitate here. Thanks, Ted, giving us the slow-mo of I think Molly's rocking now. You can see the pressure and the mindful pressure of the edge, the back counter for Alessio.
Yeah, great edge work. Like Matteo Zani is always so focused on like the power and the depth of the edge, and all of his teams have such great edge quality. So it's great to see this team develop in his style. Here's the 1 foot step sequence. Difficult arm movements
Molly,
during it.
Yeah, they didn't like that when I was suggesting that. What Matteo's and a lot of the European teams, this is fun. The European teams, they all got together, and I think there was something like 36, I can't remember if it was 48 teams that all trained together. So Molly and Alessio had the chance in the summer months, thanks to their parents for supporting them, to be around so many other teams as Matteo and Maurizio Margalio work together. And also part of that, as Molly excitedly waves Alessio, they're joined here now by Mikhail Cheska, and those European coaches have all worked together, and Mikhail's not one of their coaches, but he's here supporting them, and I think that's so wonderful that the European coaches are rallying together to support one another.
No, it's such a great thing. I mean, it's always great when coaches are supporting coaches, teams are coming together, having huge summer camps together. It'll only further development of the
Molly
sport.
Harrison and Alessio
Freelance score is for Molly and Alessio, 72.92. That is second in the free dance with a total competition score of 121.96, and that will also keep them into second place overall, at least at this stage of the competition.
Next to skate, representing Japan, Sara, Kishimoto, and Atsuhiko Tamura.
And now to Sara Kishimoto and Atsuhiko Tamura. And they will finish their free dance with Pump It by Black Eyed Peas. You can tell costuming already showcasing a unique theme choice for the Japanese junior ice dance team. Sara Kishimoto and Atsuhiko Tamura representing Japan. And you can see, for me, Kathy, immediately when it came to the first element, the circular step sequence, you could see real refinement in their fundamental basic skating.
Yeah, they've come a long way. They're a very talented team with a lot of power and flair, and I think from last season they've really improved in their edge quality and depth of the turn. So it's great to see them really focusing on that.
And interesting, Sara had explained that obviously they represent Japan, they train in Montreal, but Sara used to live in Thailand, and that's where she started skating. So she's really happy, I think, to be here and the kind of full circle moment for her in her skating experience.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. Great synchronicity in these synchronized twizzles, nice and close together. Well done. Here's the curve lift, showcasing her flexibility. One footstep sequence, nice control of the turns. It could have a little bit more depth, but had nice speed and flow throughout, nice and close together. This rotation lift is excellent. Great Bielman position. Nice and strong, fast. Into their choreo step sequence. So this program is to the soundtrack of Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. So really connecting with their Japanese culture, the rock side of it anyway. Cool, very cool stationary lift. Very fun program. Suits them very well.
There, Benjamin Biesblatt joining them in the kiss and cry. And it was interesting when we're talking through some of the features, they actually also use like a third twizzle in the twizzles, even though that wasn't the Group C feature they were going to use, just playing with almost, you sense, throwing everything at the choreo, everything at the elements, because they're obviously so talented and so capable. So you sense that the choreography team had, you know, the opportunity to throw everything at this team because they're so capable with their movement.
Yeah, you know, with the rule change for the twizzles, I think it allows for more creativity, so you can try lots of different things.
Yeah.
So it really pushes the skaters too to further their abilities.
And I think when I've seen the changes for the spins in the singles, I think the changes in the twizzles and the ice dance, I think that's been more successful perhaps in the spins, but maybe that's just me being bold. Sorry.
Spins are hard though. Spins are super hard.
Yeah, way too hard.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very happy about that change. I think it's really cool and it pushes for more creativity in the program and choreography. So.
Well, their personal best score is 91.11, and I think with this program they're going to fall a little bit short of that, as Mark had mentioned. You know, your personal best scores can come from a variety of different areas and times of the season. So this is first time out, Mark, on Junior Grand Prix this year.
Yeah.
This team, yeah.
Yep, they were third last year. They made that amazing debut last year on the Junior Grand Prix. They were just off the podium at their first event in Osaka, and then they got the bronze medal in Gdansk last year. So I suppose that also changes the dynamic for the team, because now they would have been coming into the event hoping and expecting to be in the top group for the free dance. So having to experience something that's maybe not what they visualized in the event, that's another level of learning.
Yeah, the very first Junior Grand Prix of every year is always, it's fresh, and skaters are, you know, just come off summer school, and some are ready and some aren't. It's not an indication who's really going to take the lead at the end. And strategically, do you pick the first competition? It's very difficult, you know, to know when am I ready, and do you have really control on it. But this team will be quite short of their personal best, but they'll have another one, I think, Kathy, do they?
I think they have another one. Don't remember which one, but.
Okay, the free dance scores for Sara and Atsuhiko is 80.46. That is second in the free dance. Total competition score of 132.04. And that'll put them currently at the least, for the moment, in first place. Final team in group number 2.
And this team, the highest ranked couple after the rhythm dance of the skaters we've seen so far, and they're just a couple of points behind the 5th place team, another couple from France. So Eva Bernard and Amedeo Bonetto hoping to move up. Well, what a difference a couple of weeks makes for Eva Bernard and Amedeo Bonetto. They had a fall in Riga and just a bit of a nightmare competition in their first Junior Grand Prix. And that choreo character step at the end of this free dance has so much more impact because they had a much cleaner skate here in Bangkok.
Yeah, I saw them in Riga, and it was unfortunate that they had a few errors in that performance there. But here it was so much better performance, and it was like, as you said, at the very end, you could just feel the energy and even the cuteness of the program. It was very original, very lovely performance.
And look at the storytelling, like they're totally embracing the concept and the idea. I don't know what the concept or the idea is necessarily, but I know that they are invested in it.
Yeah, the French always have the best ideas, really unique choreography, and I'm just always so excited to see what they have to offer every season. And this is without a doubt, you know, a great example. It's very French, but I absolutely loved it. Great shapes, great characters. I don't know if they're clowns, they're juggling. But,
yeah, mime artists, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe mime artists, yeah. Sure, but love this. Great shapes.
That's so difficult as well.
Entry, yeah. Super difficult entry into the rotational lift. So in the mix of all that choreography, this is the choreo at the beginning of it, super cute. Yeah, in the mix of all the, you know, the choreography, they have such difficult, intricate movements and elements that they have to accomplish. I think they did a fantastic job there today.
And they're joined this time by the other member of their coaching and choreography staff, Mahila Chantelouz. And they, I'm sure, inspired by the success of their training mates and teammates, Selena Fragi and Jean-Han Fourneau, who the first French ice dance team to win a gold on the Junior Grand Prix in 8 years when they won a week ago. And I actually think Eva and Amedeo, although they're a much newer team, they have so much potential and they've still got years in junior ahead. So I think they may be following in the footsteps of their training mates in the next couple of seasons.
Yeah, they have a great team over there, and I think, you know, being able to train with like so many talented couples will only help them and push them and further develop in their skills. And I'm super excited to see where this team goes.
Yeah, like you almost wonder, it's like you want to know already, well, what are you going to pick next year? So we've seen this one now. What intriguing theme, and I wonder if the coaching staff already are on their, you know, on the preparation for what to come up with next.
For sure. Like, I'm always like searching for music even within the season, so I'm sure they're already like steps ahead preparing for next season.
Just gonna say that was the next thing. We can't force Kathy though to give us our ideas, Ted, of next season yet.
Yeah.
Keep them covered.
Personal best 78.08. They have a season's best 86.62. They look pretty happy with that score. And that clearly moves them into first place with a 142.41 for the competition. Now the smiles appear. They were a little uncertain sitting in the kiss and cry, but you can take a look at the standings, at least a good 10-point lead over the Japanese team. And there we go. Good. Now, Mark, do you have your notepad out and your questions? Because we have Kathy for the next 15 minutes. And if there's anybody out there that wants to ask Kathy a question, you can send that into where, Mark?
Yes, if you could please send us any questions into the International Skating Union's social media pages, and Instagram has the opportunity for you to ask any questions on there. And so I will ask approximately 5 million, but I'm sure Kathy would love to hear from those of you that are watching from around the world.
Absolutely.
No, of course.
And so we see, and Kathy, I don't know if you saw any of this, but they have 250 students that came in here, and they had traditional Thai cheers and entertainment. It was fantastic for the first two groups yesterday and the day before. They don't have that today, but they have the audience. Really very supportive. It's not on Skating Nation, so when the audience sees something, they go, wow, didn't know they could do that. So it's kind of cool.
No, I thought it was, it was super cool, super creative, and super fun for them and for everyone in the building. Like, I thought that was so wonderful to see. And I was actually in Bangkok this past May for the Asian Development Seminar and for ice dancing. And everyone there was just so supportive, so kind, and so attentive, and so willing to try and help and be a part of the seminar. And I just think that, you know, Bangkok is just such an incredible, it seems like the event is going so well.
So before I release the hounds, that would be Mark, I want to ask one question. How hard is it to teach skaters at a high performance level that they want to be? Because you have to, I'm not sure what the right word is, you have to encourage or push or whatever the case may be so they can discover how good they can be. And, you know, but it's very difficult because we have to be very careful with how we speak to kids and whatnot. So what have you found out as we see you walking down the hallway? What have you found out in your coaching about
It's
Okay, well,
with these young talents, you know, it's the only way is up.
yeah, well, a good message to the young skaters watching that. You need to push yourself to a large degree. Now, Mark, take it away.
Well, I suppose on the back of that, I think it's interesting for us to just talk about the different ways that a coach would teach the different type of skater, because you trained in the United States of America and you obviously now working in Japan, and obviously there'll just be differences culturally. That's, you know, no reflection on skaters or humans, that's just the difference in where the skater is born. And I even have had an experience where I've been teaching a skater, an elite level skater, and they basically intimated that they wanted me to be much more aggressive in my nature. And I think would be an interesting concept to hear from you, because you've had experiences as a skater in different continents. Do you find yourself having to adapt very much to the different cultures of the skating you teach?
For sure, for sure. You know, growing up and training in the States, you know, there were plenty of ice rinks, many different coaching centers, so a lot of opportunity. And when I moved to Japan and started teaching here, rinks, there are rinks, but not as many as there are in the States. And so, and most of these rinks, singles, men's and ladies singles is much more popular, and so getting kids interested in dance and pairs is the struggle, first of all, but then also having ice time to train these teams is another struggle. And I'm very fortunate at my rink at Kinoshita Academy in Kyoto to have this ice time to train couples with potential. And, yeah, very grateful.
And is that, like, obviously, you know, we've touched on it through the broadcast about how you're working to elevate the popularity of the discipline in that skating nation. Is that part of the reason that you've created, and correct me if I'm wrong, you've created the Chris Reed Trophy? Tell us a little bit about what you've done with that event.
So Chris Reed Trophy is the ice dance competition in memory of his late brother. And me, along with another Japanese judge and several other people, we came up with a competition in the name. And it's just about ice dance. It's just about Chris and people coming together to enjoy ice dance, to enjoy all the memories of Chris. And this is the third year of Chris Reed Trophy, and it's happening on the end of this month.
Oh,
yeah,
fantastic.
We're very excited. Hopefully it will become a little bit bigger every single year, but slowly we'll see where it can go.
And do you feel, for you, like that's why, as I think you acknowledged there, Chris, on the screen, do you think that having the competition is what will serve, like, to help you develop the ice dance community, because then you've got something to work towards that's not as far flung as having to travel to Riga like you did a couple of weeks ago?
For sure. In Japan, there aren't that many ice dance events because there aren't that many ice dance competitions. But there are actually a lot of solo dancers starting to come about, lots of adults who enjoy ice dancing here. So having another event to be able to enjoy ice dance, compete, and all come together is just, you know, such a wonderful opportunity. And then, yeah, also have a Chris's name too, to think about him.
Kathy, how many dance teams are there in Japan?
This year, I think in senior 3, junior 4, and maybe novice 4 again too.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that what it's normally been, or is it growing slowly? What about the lower level? Are you have young teams coming together?
I don't know. It's you know, it's still hard to get kids interested. A lot of the teams start off in singles and then slowly go into ice dancing pairs. So it takes time. Not many novice to begin with. So getting kids, getting into the novice category is probably the best way to go. But we'll see moving forward. Hopefully, you know, with all these teams appearing in the Junior Grand Prix, you know, kids be interested and wanting to try ice dancing. Hoping for that.
Yeah, and I see that you're named quite often on choreography for single skaters. Do you do a lot of that? Do you enjoy it?
Yes, I love choreography as much as I love coaching. Starting to, you know, focus a little bit more on pairs and dance choreography, but I still love doing singles too. So whenever opportunity comes my way, I always try to do and continue my creativity.
Well, if I was a young skater, I would want you as a coach because you're such a kind person, but you're also obviously, no, you are. And you also manage the kids in a healthy environment, and it's a very fine line, of course, and trying to get them to do the best that they can do, right? And everything. We of course did the grand final together in the broadcast, and I've seen your coaching, and you're always so wonderfully classy and so well spoken and caring. So I think your students are extremely lucky to have you, and hope that you continue to grow ice dance in Japan as the other coaches as well.
That's very sweet of you to say. Oh my gosh, I'm blushing.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that to be nice. I'm saying that because I truly believe that's true. So I'm sure Mark does as well.
Oh, completely. And I think, you know, it's tricky to balance the line of being somebody that loves the sport, is eager to support and promote the sport, and then also for you, like, just with life, like, you're having to give up so much time for you even to create the Chris Reed Trophy, and then to have a team, as you have had different teams on the Junior Grand Prix that you've had to create, like, it must take up so much of your life.
Yeah, I have a question. Does skating and coaching and choreography feed your life?
For sure. I can't imagine my life without skating, without coaching right now, without choreography. Like, that's just a part of who I am. And I love what I do. So, I mean, yes, it's a job, but I also think that it's what I love to do. It's what I would choose to do in any case. So I'm very grateful that I have a job that I love. I have students that love what they do and love to work with me. So,
yeah, it's so nice to have a job that you love and are passionate about, and maybe even obsessed with, if you want to be pretty good. Because as hard as it is, it adds so much to your life. And we're all very gifted. Not gifted, sorry. No, you're gifted. I'm not gifted. But we're also lucky to have this in our life. And, we thank you for your contributions there. Mark, to dancing on ice. You should coach Mark in his dancing on ice. I think that would be pretty good.
That would be fun.
I think there's a lot more limited skill set.
Yeah, the rink is like the size of a dining room, right? So.
It's amazing what you're able to do on a small sheet of ice.
Oh, we take a look at the next group on the ice, the group number 3, the final group in the free dance.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, okay.
Just saw a fall on
Was it a fall?
I don't know if it was a collision, but one of the teams,
I don't think so.
it was the French team, was taking a little tumble.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mark.
Well, Kathy, on the broadcast, both in the seniors and the juniors, often will reference ice dance warm-up and how daunting they can be. Can you please corroborate? As you can see, the French team, she's already got ice in her knees. Like, how scary is an ice dance warm-up? Because it's intense, right?
It is intense. I had to prepare mentally and physically prepare my team before coming to their first Junior Grand Prix, because they're not used to skating with so many couples, and good couples too. So it can be a little intense, a little daunting, as you said, because all these 5 couples want to warm up everything in 5 minutes at the exact same time. You don't know where they're going, and they don't know where you're going. So you have to always keep an eye out, find your way through.
Is that the most nervous 5 minutes of the event for you? For you?
Watching the performance too is a little nerve-wracking for me as a coach, but yes, definitely the warm-up too. I'm just like, let's get through this in one piece without a scratch. Then I'd be happy. Yes.
That was so smart of you to prepare the team for that, because it is intense. And another thing that I would love while we've got you here with us, Kathy, is just to again express also, we've talked about the physicality of the run-throughs, and you see it really evidently in the single skaters, particularly in the lower groups where they fatigue towards the latter minute or so, and it's really evident and obvious. I suggested that ice dance, although it's not maybe as evident because mistakes are less prone to happening, that the physicality of an ice dance free dance is like cripplingly exhausting. I'm sure you would corroborate that.
I mean, I've heard from my students who are former dingle skaters who are in ice dance that definitely an ice dance run-through is a little bit more exhausting in a different way than
Yes.
you know, you can't slack off. You're with your partner. You know, if you slack off, you know, it disrupts your timing and unison with your partner. So you have to be like 100% on every single step of the way. And as we see this Italian team here, I remember you said you interviewed them and they said they did like a max of 7 run-throughs a day. I think that's just insane. I can't even imagine how they can do 7 run-throughs in a day.
There's obviously something like it's stuck in my head. Yeah, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's stuck in my head as like, oh, that would be hideous. And it's obviously something that resonated with you. Any ice dancer, anybody that's done run-throughs will have heard that and think that's just crazy.
But it's, you know, it's the way to, you know, build confidence, to build stability, to build consistency, and, you know, the stronger you're able to perform every run through and get better and better, that's the only way to improve. And as you see with the Italian team, they've improved leaps and bounds from last season to this season.
And the interesting thing about run-throughs is that you probably have, I'm making the numbers up, probably 1,000 different scenarios that are going to happen in your skating career that you're not used to in competition. So those run-throughs give you mileage. Oh yeah, I slipped on that there. Yeah, okay, I know I have to, you know, think a little more clearly here, or I can't take that deep edge or whatever. So all the little mishaps, which are surprises most often, if you've experienced them early in your career, it gives you a lot of consistency and confidence as you move along your pathway. But run-throughs, boy, you cannot explain how important that is physically, psychologically, and experience. So, wow, cheers on them.
No,
for
for
7.
sure.
And what?
No.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kathy? Because the hard part for Sam, that was such a cool, difficult exit there from the Peel brother and sister team. But with the obvious need to do run-throughs, and obviously the skaters will not be able to compete unless they've done that, but the division of time for a coach. So for you, you've got new young teams relatively new to the discipline. You almost couldn't devote that much time to doing the run-throughs because you've got to instill in them the technique. Do you find that you've got to be really planned and methodical when you're coaching a team in regards to the division of the time?
For sure. I mean, every couple, you know, their level, I have to assess it and when it's appropriate to push them, when not to. And so it's something I have to judge depending on the skater, the couple, and where they're at in their career. So it's a, you know, thought process for sure.
And here we go, the final group in the free dance event number 1 on day number 3. Mark?
And opening this final group, the talented Dania, Mouaden, and Theo Bijot. And we've already seen one French team. We can expect to see same quality, fundamental, basic skating skills from this one. Dania, Mouaden, and Theo Bijot, a team impressed so many when they burst off the Junior Grand Prix last year, winning bronze in Budapest, and now cementing that popularity here. And I think, Kathy, you're a fan of theirs for sure too.
Yeah, I was just blown away by the performance yesterday in the rhythm and even today in the free. They're such a energetic, a unique team at the tender age of 14 and 15, and they're already so good. Such great skating quality and already great lifts, well-developed elements. Yeah, just blown away. And I love their style. As Ted mentioned earlier, they're aggressive, they go for it, they don't hold back, and it's just young and fresh. I absolutely love them.
And you know, we've seen already some great French ice dancers, but when you're saying young and fresh, you have to assume that's maybe because they come from a different stable. Barbara Piton is their coach and choreographer, so you get a different kind of idea. And Barbara seems like an artist as well, so we're just getting a different take on the rules.
Yeah, great programs, wonderful choreography, very unique, suits them very well. Yeah, they held my attention throughout, from the beginning to the end.
Oops. Well, what a great program that is. This team has got so much energy, and you know, they've got a bright future. They're very young and they're very well matched. You see that big smile. They were thrilled with that performance, Mark. Yeah.
Well, and the team has been together, although they're so young, they've been together with the same coach for so many years now. So we're getting to see kind of the tip of the iceberg of all the hard work that's been done from a really young age. And that's something that we've seen in the greats like Virtue and Moyer and Davis and White, teams that together so young and then go into great success.
You can see her, she is, that smile is a smile of, that was an awesome program we just did. You know, and I think no matter what the score is, they did what they could do. They did their best, because you don't have a song like that in the Kiss and Cry unless you're really proud of what you did. Scores 86.86, that is first in the free dance, with a total competition score 144.78, and they will now take over the lead, first team out in the final group. Now they'll have to sit back and wait. As we can see, the two French teams back to back, 1 and 2. But 4 more to come.
Next to skate, representing Canada, Chloe and Brendan Jones.
There's so many of the teams competing in Bangkok in this ice dance competition. We're all within the top 10 at last season's World Junior Championships. Chloe Nguyen and Brenna Yang were 6th in last season's World Juniors, and hoping to climb up from the 4th place that they had after the rhythm dance onto the podium in this Junior Grand Prix.
Hope you
Well, a special embrace for Chloe again and Brendan Yang. They had that fall in the rhythm dance disappointment there.
From Canada,
So glad to see them skate cleanly. And again, Ted, you've acknowledged the coaching staff who you know so well and how well prepared they are. That seems really evident again to me as other members of the Canadian team cheer them on in the audience.
They're extremely well prepared and they're very seasoned for juniors, and I think that was a huge disappointment yesterday. Just unexpected fall, which never really happens to them, and being 6th in the world in juniors last year, looking for more. But it's not all lost, that's for sure. That was a strong program, and they'll have another Junior Grand Prix a little bit later.
Yeah, they had a great performance. Very nice, beautiful, lyrical program. Even their rhythm dance I loved. I mean, it was unfortunate about the fall, but at least, you know, it wasn't in an element, so that wasn't too hurtful.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they, you know, they could prove themselves today of their potential in this free.
And just here within the step sequence, you can see like the speed and coverage of the ice showcases better skating skills than any I think that we've seen so far.
Yeah, they have great flow and coverage of the ice. Great twizzle sequence here. Looks very controlled, unfazed. Nice different changes of position and the straight line lift. Great position in the rotational lift. Nice and light in the air. Everything looks so easy with them when they skate. It's beautiful.
And interesting that you don't notice, Ted, that normally we just talk about the single skaters rotating anti-clockwise. I presume Brendan, if he was to jump, would rotate clockwise. Everything there, a little less as we see from most in regards to the rotation.
Yeah, and we talked about run-throughs. This team does a lot of run-throughs as well. Not 7, but they do a lot every single day. 7 is kind of an insanity. I can't even imagine, but how do you even get the music for that often, right? So
Yeah.
well, Aaron looks pretty pleased with that.
The problem, I suppose, for Chloe and Brendan is just that they have a 2-point gap between them and Eliana and Ethan, who are next to skate. So they're wanting to not just skate their personal best, but close that gap. And 2 points is fairly big in an ice dance competition.
In ice dance, yeah. It'll be hard, but let's see, you know. Anything can happen.
Here are the free dance
We've
scores
seen that on the
for Chloe and Brendan. Free dance 88.60. They're happy with that. That is first in the free dance so far. 3 teams to come, and then a total competition score 146.78. And they'll take over the lead, but their team that's stopping them from getting on the podium is on the ice right now. And you can see it pretty close. We'll see what happens. But good job. Nice job.
Next to skate, representing the United States of America, Eliana Peel and Ethan Peel.
And so now to the brother and sister team of Eliana Peel and Ethan Peel. They're already very definitely in character. And they will skate to a piece of music that's important to them, music from the Pearl Harbor soundtrack. Eliana and Ethan Peel, the brother and sister team. This is their third season on the Junior Grand Prix, and we're seeing them mature and evolve on this a more intense piece in their free dance to the Pearl Harbor soundtrack. We've seen of them before. And Kathy, this team is such high-flying humans. His school is over 2 hours away. He's the third year studying aerospace engineering, so he drives over 2 hours away, there and back, and then returns for training in the afternoon. So that's just an indication as to the kind of high-level humans, not just high-level athletes that these guys are.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. How does he find time in his day to do everything? Well, that just shows how dedicated they are. I mean, to each other, to the sport, and to their life. Wow, that's remarkable. But yeah, another strong performance by this brother and sister team. I have a soft spot for brother and sister teams since I was in one myself. So it's great to see brother and sister teams out there. But yeah, they look very, very strong, solid. Love these arms on the third twizzle of that twizzle sequence. This team always skates to like really cool movie soundtracks. I'm a big movie soundtrack fan too, and so I'm very appreciative of that. But yeah, very cool entry to the straight line lift. Cool positions. That was a combo lift. Nice rotational lift and a cool exit out of that. Love that. They had lots of power and great ice coverage. Strong team for sure.
Their personal best is 93.31, and they might come close to that, and that would do it, at least putting them on the podium for sure. We'll have to wait and see.
The scores, please.
And here are the scores for the free dance with father, coach in the kiss and cry. 92.30, that is first for Eliana and Ethan. In the free dance with a total competition score of 152.55 as they take over the lead. 2 teams to come. What color will their medal be? We'll find out.
This puts them currently in first place. Next to skate, representing the United States of America.
And now to the team, lying in second place, Hannah Maria Aboyan and Daniel Vesenduken. Back-to-back performances from teams from the United States of America. He will come out on top.
the United States of America, Hannah
Well,
Maria
hard to
Aboyan
comprehend
and Dania
that she's just 14 years of age as Hannah Maria Aboyan and her partner Daniil can complete their free dance. Such elegance, such refinement, and it's not often that Mozart is used for a free dance, but it seems to serve them very well.
Oh, this piece of music suits them to a T. I'm just blown away by this team as well. Like, she's just absolutely stunning. My eyes are on her throughout. Like, she just draws you into everything that she does. Her flexibility, her presence, like, just a very talented young lady.
And he the perfect framework, but even just there, I mean, from that position you're already sold, just the way in which she uses her back, her spine, her leg extension, you kind of think, oh, special. She's not even moved and we're special.
This lift, like, great with the music, great musicality, nice and fast. He's just solid, being her strong base. Great, difficult entry into these synchronized twizzles, nice and tight and close together. Nice and fast, solid. Very nice classical team, beautiful lines.
And you're right, Kathy, the base which Daniil offers for Hannah, so often we've acknowledged already how ethereal she looks, but what a great temperament and energy in the team as they work through the step sequence that he seems to offer her the platform to showcase that beauty.
No, for sure. When you're drawn into the girl, when you see the girl shine, it's because her partner is that strong base showing her off, and so it's a teamwork. No, beautiful team with great potential. I'm so excited to see where they go.
The score, please. Hannah Maria Aboyan and Daniil from the United States of America have earned in their free dance 95.81. Their total score is 160.12. This puts them currently in first place. Next to skate, representing Italy, Noemi Maria Tali and Noah.
Well, Noema Maria Tali had explained that before competition and in practice, she can get very nervous, but Noah is her source of calm. He acting as her mental coach of sorts. And hopefully their energies are perfectly pitched for another beautiful free dance following their win at their first Junior Grand Prix assignment 2 weeks ago. Well, following their win at their first Junior Grand Prix assignment, Noah Lafornara and Noemi Mariatali had explained that they wanted to skate with even more passion, not just getting through their earlier competitive outings in this season, but to skate it with passion. And that, I think all three of us in the commentary booth would agree, was definitely evident in this, their second Junior Grand Prix assignment this season.
Yeah, I was in the stands in Riga, and I saw their performance, live, and I was just blown away. They look like a senior team, and here they've already improved leaps and bounds from just 2-3 weeks ago. It's just incredible, like how fast they're improving. So
and you wonder,
looking forward to see what they.
You wonder if that the confidence that comes from the win. I don't mean just the medal, but showing that, wow, we are. I guess people think we're that good, and then you keep pushing it a little bit further, and then you're set to move forward, because now you don't put any limitations on yourself.
For sure, like that, a win. Look at the speed going into this twizzle sequence. It's just phenomenal. It involves so much control and confidence too, really. But yeah, as I said, like a win for sure will only boost your confidence, but you have to train in a smart way to keep that confidence and keep that momentum rolling forward. Difficult entry into this curve lift. Nice, beautiful position. Combo lift. Scratch that, yeah. Nice rotation. Fast.
They looked so invested here as they finished. You sense, obviously they're performing with passion for the purpose of the competition, but as Noah climbed up from the position, you sense they were engaged and with it.
No, it was such a passionate performance. This program suits them so well. I'm so happy for them.
Let's see the free dance scores. Personal best is 98.31, and this is 100.67. That's a huge score.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, fantastic. Season's best, of course, with a 169.47 for the competition. They are the gold medalists here for a second time in the Junior Grand Prix. They will find themselves in Grenoble in December.
Oh, so happy for them. That's great.
You were good, but you still have to sit down.
Yeah, that was outstanding. As we take a look at the final standings, and it was a good competition. Naomi and Noah, of course, they take that by a lot, and Hannah Marie and Danielle in second, Ileana and Ethan in third. And we have two American teams on the podium. Chloe Nguyen and Brennan Jiang end up in fourth place. I think it was pretty costly on that on the first dance that they had yesterday, the rhythm dance. That was a bit of a problem. But anyways, Kathy, it has been fantastic to have you join us here. And we're really excited doing this sort of guest commentators. We had Caitlin Osmond last night, and we had Jason Brown before. We've had you, and next week we'll have Kirsten Moore Towers covering pairs with us. So thank you so much.
Great.
Not only for joining us now, but for what you're doing in ice dance in Japan, and the class that you bring to the sport in that discipline. It's something special. I'm not saying that to be nice, just because I truly believe it. Mark, any final comments?
Just what a pleasure and joy it was to chat to you, Kathy, and let's do it again. Let's just do this again.
I would love to. It's been such a pleasure talking with you both, and also watching great skating at it as well. I think, anything we can do to help the sport, in any way possible, it will only, help and push the skaters, motivate the skaters, and motivate new skaters to come into the sport as well. So I'm all for it. Sign me up next time.
Okay, that is awesome. And that concludes our coverage of the free dance. Up next will be the men's free program. And I watched the final group in practice today. That is going to be absolutely amazing. For all of us here at the ISU, for Kathy Reed and Mark Henry, I'm Ted Barton. Thank you for watching. Make sure you stick around for the men's free coming up after this.